liquidation of the UFO researchers. Dr. M.K. Jessup. Jessup achieved some notoriety with his 1955 book The Case for the UFO, in which he argued that unidentified flying objects, UFOs, represented a mysterious subject worthy of further study. Jessup speculated that UFOs were exploratory craft of solid and nebulous character. Jessup also linked ancient monuments with prehistoric supergiants years before similar claims were made by Erich von Däniken in Chariots of the Gods. Jessup displayed familiarity with the alternative mythology of human prehistory developed by Helena P. Blavatsky's cult of theosophy, which included the mythical lost continents of Atlantis, Mu, and Lemuria. In 1958 his wife left him, and his friends described him as being somewhat unstable when he traveled to New York City. After returning to Florida, he was involved in a serious car accident and was slow to recover, apparently increasing his despondency. On April 19, 1959, Jessup contacted Dr. Manson Valentine and arranged to meet with him the next day, claiming to have made a breakthrough regarding an event known as the Philadelphia experiment. However, on April 20, 1959, Jessup was found dead in Dade County, Florida, with a hose between the exhaust pipe and a rear window of the vehicle. Dr. James McDonald. Dr. James McDonald tried to convince Congress to look into the UFO situation. He died after shooting himself a short while later. In 1954, while driving through the Arizona desert with two meteorologists, McDonald spotted an unidentified flying object none of the men could readily identify. Given his training in atmospheric physics, McDonald was able to examine UFO reports in greater detail than most other scientists, and was able to offer explanations for some previously unexplained reports. Using his security clearance with the U.S. government, he also uncovered a number of well-documented UFO reports from the U.S. Air Force's Project Blue Book, which he judged deeply puzzling even after stringent analysis. In March 1971, McDonald's wife Betsy told him she wanted a divorce. McDonald seems to have started planning his suicide not long afterwards. He finished a few articles he was writing, UFO-related and otherwise, and made plans for the storage of his notes, papers, and research. In April 1971 he attempted suicide by shooting himself in the head. He survived, but was blinded and was wheelchair-bound. For a short period, McDonald was committed to the psychiatric ward of a Tucson, Arizona hospital. He recovered a degree of peripheral vision, and made plans to return to his teaching position. However, on June 13, 1971, a family, walking along a creek close to the bridge spanning the Canada del Oro Wash near Tucson, found a body that was later identified as McDonald's. A .38 caliber revolver was found close to him, as well as a suicide note.
Ivan T. Sanderson. Ivan T. Sanderson passed away unexpectedly. He was head of a major UFO/paranormal group. Sanderson earned a BA in zoology, with honors, from Cambridge University Faculty of Biology, where in the same faculty he later earned MA degrees in botany and ethnology. He became famous claiming to have seen a Kangamato, after being attacked by a creature he described as the granddaddy of all bats. During World War II, Sanderson worked for British naval intelligence, in charge of counter-espionage against the Germans in the Caribbean. He died of brain cancer in New Jersey. Since Sanderson's death, specific allegations have been repeatedly published stating that he died from a brain tumor and that condition caused peculiar behavior in his later years. To the end he remained a forceful and entertaining advocate of investigating true mysteries, despite the pain that came with his illness. On Rummel, ex-Air Force intelligence agent and publisher of the Alien Digest, died on August 6, 1993. Rummel allegedly shot himself in the mouth with a pistol. However, that no blood was found on the pistol barrel and the handle of the weapon was free of fingerprints. The suicide note left by the deceased was written by a left-handed person. Rummel was right-handed. Perspiration on the body smelled like sodium pentothal. On June 2, 1995, Fox TV discussed this death because Ron had been writing about the alleged suicides and/or accidental deaths of over 30 British scientists who had been working on top-secret projects in the British defence industry. These projects included mind control, Star Wars, and the implantation of devices in the brain without the recipient being aware of this. In some of these suicides, the victims were found with their hands and feet bound. While the U.S. press has otherwise refused to cover this story, the British press has had broad coverage. 6. Ron Johnson. Johnson was 43 years old and, it would seem, in excellent health. He had just passed a recent physical examination with the proverbial flying colors. However, on June 9, 1994, while attending a Society of Scientific Exploration meeting in Austin, Texas, Johnson died quickly and amid very strange circumstances. During a slideshow, several people sitting close to him heard a gasp. When the lights were turned back on, Johnson was slumped over in his chair, his face purple, blood oozing from his nose. A soda can, from which he had been sipping, was sitting on the chair next to him. Ron Johnson's most recent job was with the Institute of Advanced Studies, purportedly working on UFO propulsion systems. He had been formerly employed by Earth Tech Incorporated, a private Austin, Texas, think tank headed by Harold Puthoff. It would appear he held high security clearances, traveled frequently between San Antonio and White Sands, and had attended 2 secret NATO meetings.